I think I know what one of the big new features of the new Mario Kart's going to be, and if I'm right, it may just change a core element of the entire series. And no, I'm not talking about the 24 racers or whatever that golden power-up takeaway bag thing is. Although, I do have a couple of thoughts about that, which I'll get to later. Instead, I think Nintendo's cooking with gas for this new feature. No, not that kind of gas. I'm talking about the kind you put into your car, or cart in this case. And not just because Mario's Kart has a giant 1-up fuel decal on it, though that certainly doesn't hurt my theory. But the crux of my argument involves a strange pathway parallel to the starting line. And I say it's strange because on the face of it, there's no reason to go that way. There's no iron boxes or boost pads or anything of note, even though we can see both of those elements in other parts of the trailer, which indicates they aren't missing because they were turned off or something. All this alternate pathway seems to do is branch off shortly before the starting line and then rejoin the track shortly thereafter. So why would you ever go that way if it has nothing to offer? Which is exactly why I'm pretty sure it has some alternate purpose. And given its location right next to the starting line where you can encounter it on every lap, that means it probably functions as some kind of pit stop. You know, like in NASCAR or for you kids out there, the Cars movies. Now before we explore how exactly it could work, I want to touch on how this technically isn't the first pit stop we've ever seen in the Mario Kart game. In Mario Kart 8's very first level, Mario Kart Stadium, you can very clearly see what are meant to be pit stops on either side of the track. The only catch is, you can't go into them as they're blocked off, making it purely a background element in the stadium setting. So it's a cute touch even if it's non-functional. But what if I told you there actually is a functioning pit stop, or at least a pit lane, elsewhere in the game? Because if we head on over to GBA Mario Circuit, we can see a very similar pit stop setup right next to the starting line. Only in this case it's on the right side of the track instead of the left. But unlike in the new Mario Kart, there are clear reasons why you'd want to take this route, as only this pathway provides an exclusive item box and boost pad. And I think this is important for two reasons. One, it shows that Nintendo knows that a pit stop needs a purpose, which again is technically still a mystery in the new game, even though I'm pretty sure I figured a lot of it out, and we'll be getting to that very soon. But the other reason is possibly even more telling, because this is the only track in the entire game to have a functioning pit stop, as in 1 out of 48 tracks in the base game, or 1 out of 96 if you count the Booster Course DLC, which I think is an indication that the pit stop found in the new game is extremely unlikely to be a feature unique to this track, but instead is something that'll be found on every track. Because again, based on what we've seen in the past, the odds of them showcasing a single track that just so happens to have a functioning pit stop is incredibly low, which means this new pit stop feature is very likely a central new mechanic in the new game. So running with that idea, it brings us back to the question of what exactly is a pit stop used for here? After all, this is still Mario Kart, and I don't think Nintendo wants to bring the race to a grinding halt just so you can swap your tires out. Well, that brings us back to what we said at the start. It all involves Wario's farts. Gas. Because as it turns out, the main building adjacent to the pit stop lane is called the Fireflower Gas Station. There is even a cute little car on top too. So between the giant gas station, the new fuel decal in Mario's go-kart, and all the fuel signs lining the raceway, well, it's making me think gas is going to play an important part in this new game. Now that being said, I can't imagine it acting it as actual fuel. As in, I don't think you're gonna run out of gas and be a sitting duck, as hilarious as that could be. Although, now that I think about it, I guess it could kind of work if Lakitu could come out and fill you up, so it can still be punishing without being too punishing. But I still don't think they're gonna go that route, as I believe there's an even more elegant opportunity. And if we go back to the decal of Mario's Kart, I think it may just offer a clue. Because it's branded with a mushroom. You know, as in the items that have given you a speed boost for the entire series? What if that pit stop is how you get boost power in the new game? A little bit like how the pit areas work in the F-Zero series. But unlike in F-Zero where there's almost no reason to avoid the pit areas, I think it might just be a real choice in the new Mario Kart. Because I have a feeling that just like in real life, the gas isn't going to be free, and will instead require you to hand over some gold coins, which do appear to be back based on this scene. Especially as there needs to be some kind of trade-off, otherwise everyone would go to the pit stop as there'd be no reason to avoid it. And I think this would be such an awesome idea to recontextualize how the coins work, while making them feel far more meaningful. Because even though coins are important in Mario Kart as is by raising your top speed, it's done so subtly it doesn't really feel like it. So having you cash them in order to buy boost power is such a clearer way of going about it. Now even assuming I'm right about any of this, there's still multiple ways I could go about it. For instance, are you literally just buying mushroom power-ups? Or could there be a new mushroom boost meter, allowing you to dole the boost out over time, independent of any other items you may collect, you know, from the item boxes? I'm gonna be real, the second idea sounds way more interesting to me. And then there's a matter of, can you even choose how much you buy at once? Like, will you automatically trade in all of your coins? Or maybe it could be time dependent, where the more time you spend in the pit stop, the more coins you can cash in, and the more boost power you can get. Once again, I kinda prefer the second idea, because it could allow for coins to be used for other purposes too, such as that golden power-up at the Yoshi Cafe costs coins to pick up. That would explain the gold color matching the coins. And taking both ideas together could introduce a real risk versus reward element to the gameplay, where you have to decide if you want to cash in your coins for gas and boost power, or if you want to save it for a better item. Furthermore, this could possibly factor into how the game is balanced too, such as players in the back possibly getting a discount on the gas price, or maybe getting more gas for the same price. And if you want to extrapolate even farther, this could possibly be the end of the mushroom as an item, since, you know, it'd be entirely redundant. Which, in my opinion, could be amazing, as I am so sick of getting mushrooms constantly in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as my only item. And it's even worse when everyone around you has mushrooms too, which happens way too often, which makes it feel like the mushrooms don't really matter much of the time. And that scenario could be even worse with 24 players, with the game needing to find ways of keeping everyone close together. So dropping mushrooms as an item in favor of a boost meter could really open the door to more creative power-ups, such as my Lakitu idea from a recent video I made about how Mario Kart needs to change. I'm just glad I found a way to reuse that mock-up because I spent way too much time on it, among a few others from that same video. So go ahead and give it a watch. I'll link to it at the end of this video if you want to see it, because I still think there are some ideas in there that could come into play for Mario Kart 9. But for now, I am really excited by the potential of this gas station pit stop, because I really do think it could change up how Mario Kart works, both in, you know, having more options when it comes to boosting, giving coins a better purpose, and also giving a new life to the item system perhaps, especially if mushrooms aren't a factor now, which I would be totally fine with. Honestly, maybe it's just me, but every time I get a mushroom in Mario Kart, I'm a little disappointed because it's just kind of a boring item, especially these days, when really, as I kind of said earlier, whenever I feel like I have a mushroom, so does everyone else around me. We're just all boosting at the same time, mitigating the entire point of the mushroom in the first place. I mean, yeah, I guess we are moving as a pack closer to the front, but it never really feels like it, you know? And I think this could be a more fun way of going about it, in that there's a real choice you have to make as to whether you want to cash in your coins for you know, for the boosting ability, especially if it possibly comes at the expense of being able to get that golden takeout bag thing from the Yoshi Cafe. And I think adding more risk versus reward elements to Mario Kart would go a long ways in just making it even more interesting, which I think it kind of needs to after having 10 years of the same freaking game in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So I am excited by the possibilities, and even if this pit stop doesn't even involve gas, which would be weird considering the gas station there, I'm sure Nintendo could find some more fun use for it. Whether it's giving you the ability to swap your tires on the fly, which could work at the racetracks, or even more open-ended, you know, with there possibly being multiple terrain types, or maybe swapping other equipment on your cart. Whatever it ends up being, I'm, again, really excited by the potential, because why would a pit stop be there if there's not some reason for it? And, you know, I'm personally tied to that gas idea, but again, I'll be happy to see whatever Nintendo may be cooking for it, and not at the Yoshi Cafe, but at the gas station. So those are my thoughts on the matter, everyone. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Do you like my ideas? Do you think it makes sense? Would it improve Mario Kart 9 or whatever it ends up being called? Let me know in the comments, or maybe there's an idea I missed. Maybe there's another purpose for what this pit stop could be. Again, post below. I'll be reading them. And with that, thanks for watching. Click on the video somewhere, wherever I put it, because I have a lot of other fun ideas for Mario Kart 9. And with that, we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone. And click subscribe, please, if you like this video. And the like button. And anything else. Click whatever you want. Bye.